It's time to officially kick off 2026. We are going to be talking about the biggest Lightning stories to watch in the year ahead on today's Locked On Lightning.
You're Locked On Lightning, your daily podcast on the Tampa Bay Lightning, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for making Locked On Lightning your first listen of the day. Every single day, we are your free daily Tampa Bay Lightning podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network. As always, we want to give a big shout out to our everydayers, those of you who tune into every single show, every single day. We love you, and we appreciate the support you give us week in, week out. I'm Nick Morgan, and I am joined by my Auld Lang Syne to, I guess, any other New Year's Eve song imaginable, Greg Steven. Greg, happy 2026, my friend, and welcome in. You're muted.
Happy 2026 to everyone. And what a great way to start the new year on a mute.
What a great way to start the year with mic problems.
No, I'm looking forward to the new year. We got a lot to talk about with the future of the Tampa Bay Lightning.
We do. We're going to be recapping the biggest storylines to watch in the year ahead. You might see some Olympic talk creep in there somewhere. You might see some trade deadline talk creep in there somewhere. Or are we going to be looking ahead to the postseason? Are the Panthers going to rear their ugly head again? We're going to dive into all that, plus one bold prediction each of us have for the new year ahead for the Tampa Bay Lightning. A lot to get to. Before we kick it all off, want to mention today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Before tip-off, check the FanDuel app and see what's dropping during NBA Happy Hour every Friday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. All right, Greg, here we go. First show of the new year. And if you're the Tampa Bay Lightning, there is a lot to look forward to this year.
Oh,
Greg,
absolutely.
give me one big story that you're watching in 2026 for the Lightning.
Okay. I'm watching JoJo. Okay. I know.
I wasn't picking that one, but go ahead.
Hear me out, though. Okay, Vasi is our #1 goal. You want him in net every single time. Yeah. I think we're all in agreement there. But we've seen recently he's had some injuries. And I want to see JoJo continue to play sharp no matter what the role is, right? Like if, let's say Vasi stays healthy, that's the ideal situation, right? And I'm going to just knock on wood because we all know what happens when I say things. Yeah, I think in the games that JoJo plays, I want to see him play strong, play a great game. I want to see a full game from JoJo. I think he did his job thus far this season, especially when Vasi was out. He looked very sharp to me, and he's been such a great goalie for the Lightning. I think he goes unspoken a lot because everyone's talking Vasi, but I want to bring some light to him because I think he could potentially be playing a bigger role on this team in the near future.
So you're kind of projecting maybe a not necessarily 1A, 1B, but maybe like a backup with more of a role as opposed to Vasi from the past few years where he's playing like every game of a back-to-back down the stretch.
Yes. And I think also this gives you the opportunity right now because JoJo has looked sharp, gives you the opportunity where if near the end of the season, you're in a great position and there's not much you can do as far as points influencing the seeding of the playoffs. It gives you time to kind of rest him, and you can play JoJo instead. And because I think you want Vasi going into the playoffs really sharp this season. And I think there's polarizing takes about sitting goalies before the playoffs because on one hand, let's say you sit him so JoJo can get some time and Vasi can rest before the playoffs. It also brings a coldness to a goaltender, right? Like I think goalies thrive on seeing pucks often. And that's why I like that JoJo got so much time this season. I think he had a stretch where all he saw was rubber,
Yeah. And I will say, I think I was very wrong about JoJo because that was my big thing before this season was if something happens to Vasi, do we trust JoJo to really be the guy that carries this load? I said no. I think JoJo's proved me wrong this year. Johansson's that goalie that has really stepped in when Vasi's either been hurt or dealing with inconsistencies. He's the guy that's come in and provided some stability to the Lightning in the goal crease. So, I do think you're onto something here. One big storyline to me is going to be the trade deadline. And it's going to be, I think, sort of a crossroads for the Tampa Bay Lightning, because it sounds like the cap is going to go up next year.
Right.
And you don't have a lot of room this year, but it does sound like, and I think it's after this year is when the new cap rules go into effect.
Mm-hmm.
So this is kind of your last chance to do something creative. Now, the Lightning, they don't have a lot to give up. Obviously, they gave up 2 first-round picks to get Yanni Gourde and Oliver Bjorkstrand last year. But it is going to be interesting to see who they go after. It's going to be an interesting market, because obviously, like, the big, we talked about this, like, some of the big free agents, the biggest free agents of this class are now off the board, because everybody is just signing insane contracts.
Yes.
A year before it happens. So I don't think there's going to be a lot of people available, but I'm interested to see what the market is going to be like, and if the Tampa Bay Lightning jump in. Greg, you and I have both talked about, we would love to see the Lightning maybe look at the defense a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna, a lot of it's going to depend on Chernak and Hedman's health, and to an extent Lilberg too, because I think with those 3 guys out, there's still a hole there that you need to address. But I want to ask you this, Greg, because that was something we both said at the beginning of the year, was that's a hole I wish they would have done something with last year. But you look at Darren Radish stepping up and playing a bigger role this year. You look at somebody like Dastu, who's come to the lineup. Do you still think we need to attack defense at the trade deadline?
Fantastic question. And I always say that because I know you asked them, but
thank you, man.
Appreciate you said exactly what I wanted to say, which was, I think it really depends on the health, right? I mean, we got to see where they are at that point, and that's hard to predict. Obviously, anything can happen. But if I'm starting Moser, Radish, Dastu, Crozier, Hedman, Chernak, I think I'm satisfied if they're all 100% healthy.
Interesting.
That being said, you look at the offense, and it's hard to be like, I don't really like something about this offense. I think their offense is also solid. So what do you do if they're all healthy? I don't know. I think I still look at defensemen maybe, but I don't know if I'm necessarily making some insane move if their roster is actually healthy. I don't know where you'd find an upgrade without sacrificing something, whether it be offense or defense. You're going to sack something for a trade, I think, is the only way they acquire someone that makes a large impact. No?
Yeah. I mean, it might be one of those things where, you always kind of make fun of the GMs that, like, we're getting this injured player back. That's our deadline move.
Right.
But I do feel like that might be the case a little bit for, JBB. The Lightning roster feels a little locked in to me at this point, Greg, because, up until what I'm going to talk about next, you have pretty much everybody locked in. You don't really have draft capital to give up, and you don't really have like a lot of blue chip prospects.
Right.
So the guys that you have now, that's kind of who you're riding with, I feel like.
Yep. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think that's why I was kind of saying, if you are going after something, you're sacrificing something. I don't see there being other bait in your pool to like make a big trade.
Yeah. And that leads to the last big storyline that I am going to watch heading into this new year. And it's going to take place in the summer. And that is the window in which you can start negotiating with Nikita Kucherov for a new contract, Greg.
Yeah.
It is going to be interesting to watch, because I would say right now, $9.5 million cap hit. That is a pretty damn good deal that the Lightning cashed in when he signed this all the way back in 2018.
Yeah.
It's the price he's paying, the price he's getting paid right now puts him way down the list of, high-end players. Like, God, like he's making like Beckett Seneke money, right?
Right.
And
You're absolutely right. I
and
think
that's
Logan Cooley just signed a deal that was similar.
Yeah, I mean, Logan Cooley's, I think, making $10 million. I think he was one of like the $10 million contracts that signed. And that's kind of my big thing is there's all these massive contracts being signed, these outrageous. And you look at Nikita Kucherov, who has back-to-back Art Ross wins. He's been one of the NHL's best playmakers consistently for years.
Oh, yeah.
Is he going to want one of these mega deals? Or are the Lightning going to convince him to take maybe a little bit more of let's say a modest contract, Greg?
It's a fantastic question. I wish we were able to get to know Cooch better through the media, because you could get a better read on where you think his head might be at. But, oh, God, I think he loves Tampa Bay. And I think if he was offered a modest deal, he'd take it. Do you think I'm off by guessing that?
I don't think so. There's also some context to this because he's going to be 34 years old when his new contract kicks in. Which, doesn't mean he's going to suddenly start regressing, but no. I don't know if you're Tampa Bay, if you lock him into like a 8-year, $13 million AAV deal just from a business standpoint. But I also think if you're Nikita Kucherov, you probably don't really have any interest in leaving Tampa Bay. Like, where else could you go that has the quality of team to compete right now, has the weather, the coastline? I was going through like Artemi Panarin's checklist from a few years ago.
No income tax.
Yeah, no income tax. Like even from like all of the vain non-hockey reasons. Like I don't know where Nikita Kucherov's going to go that he's going to find anywhere other than Tampa. And I will say this, looking at the cap ahead, Tampa does have flexibility to basically write him a blank check.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's what they're going to do, but you can if you want to.
For sure.
But if you're Nikita Kucherov, I don't know. I don't.
Yeah, where's better?
Let's say 11.5, like 11.5 to 12. I would not be surprised if there is maybe a shorter term deal in that range.
I agree with you. I think it's going to be like between 11 and 13 million, and it's going to be like 4 years.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. And then, I feel like he might go like the Malkin Crosby route where they just keep taking short term deals until they're done.
Yeah, and still playing elite level, by the way, hockey.
Yeah, I would be shocked if Nikita Kucherov leaves. This isn't I don't think it's a Steven Stamkos situation in which your back is against the wall. I think the Lightning have a lot more flexibility now, as opposed to when the Stamkos thing went down. So I don't know. Like I feel like and Nikita Kucherov, let's be honest, has been more consistent with his level of play than Stamkos was. So
certainly.
Yeah,
he looks younger, like on the ice. It's weird to say that, but Cooch to me looks like he's skating like he's 28.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, so that's the biggest storylines we're going to watch from kind of a storyline drama standpoint. Let's talk about, just as fans, what you and I are most looking forward to in this new year. Let's get to that when we come back in just 1 second. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Fridays already feel different during basketball season, and FanDuel is now making them even better. Every Friday night before the games tip off, FanDuel is giving fans a new way to kick off the weekend with NBA Happy Hour. NBA Happy Hour is your official pregame, a limited time window where special offers drop right inside the FanDuel app before the action starts. We're talking Fridays from 6 o'clock to 7:30 Eastern have become appointment viewing with NBA Happy Hour. All you have to do is open the FanDuel app during Happy Hour, and you can see boosts, bonuses, and surprises to whatever game you want to bet. It's easy to check the weekly special right before tip-off and make a move before the window closes, and the timing is perfect. This all goes down right before the games tip off and right before the weekend starts. So, hey, you can spend your Saturday night celebrating your big win down at the bar. So before tip-off, Check the FanDuel app and see what's dropping during NBA Happy Hour every Friday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. A little basketball, a little action, and a whole lot of Friday energy. Again, that's NBA Happy Hour only on FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. We're back on Locked on Lightning. Nick Morgan here alongside Greg Stephen. And Greg, we talked about maybe some of the big storylines to watch for the Lightning this year in terms of just the league interest, drama standpoint, all that good stuff. But now let's talk just as fans. What's something in the year ahead that you are most excited to experience as a fan?
All right. How about February 1st, the Stadium Series?
I knew that was going to be your answer.
I mean, I already got tickets. I'm hyped. I think the jerseys look cool. And I mean, it's outside in Florida. I've just got to see this happen because it's hard to believe because I mean, it's 80 here right now.
Yeah. It's going to be fun just from an experience standpoint. And look, yeah. I was fortunate enough to go down and watch the Bolts play in Nashville a few years ago. And that was just a fun experience, and not just the game itself and being outside, but, you know, pregame, like seeing all the fans like take over, you know, Broadway and, you know, just having a good time and kind of celebrating hockey. You know, I got to do the same thing in Columbus last year. I saw the Blue Jackets play the Red Wings, and it was just fun environment. Really unlike any other hockey game I think I've ever experienced. That's right. Exactly what I'm looking forward to. And look, it's not just the game itself. You know, the Florida Panthers are taking on the Boston Bruins, and that looks like that might have some Atlantic Division repercussions for that one. But it's just like it's going to see like I think Gasparilla is happening at the same time. So it's just going to be like the mix of people, you know, down in the, you know, the Tampa, St. Pete area. Is just going to be everybody mingling, you know, pre-gaming together. And then we get to see our Bolts play an outdoor game at home. How cool is that, man?
I mean, I can't express how excited I am. And it'll be my first Gasparilla here too. Plus, really? Yeah, to top it off with the Stadium Series is just so cool. And I really just like that it's in the Bucks Stadium, Raymond James, because it's just kind of like the intermix of going to usually watch football there. And now it's like a hockey game. And I just think that's also super cool that they're kind of mixing the two sports in a weird way, you know?
Yeah. And like all the logos and everything were very like Gasparilla themed too.
Right.
So I will say my future in-laws have a lot of pirate dress up gear.
Oh yeah.
They're very big in the Pirates. They've done Gasparilla a few times. So if you need to borrow an outfit, I got you covered, Greg.
I just might.
Yeah. The other thing I'm looking forward to this year, I think for me, yes, on the Stadium Series, it's going to be kick-ass. I'm looking a week later at the start of the Winter Olympics. And I've said this a lot, man. Like, yeah, I love the NHL at the Winter Olympics. It's so cool. Like, even back when the games in Sochi a few years ago, where there's like, you know, puck drop at like 4 a.m, I was up watching those games.
Right.
Like, I don't care. It's just so fun. It's so unique. And honestly, the Olympics are sort of the celebration of the best athletes in the world. And for the men's hockey tournament to not have the NHL players on the ice the past 2 games, it's just felt like something's missing. And the tournament just didn't have that same zhuzh.
Yeah, you know? Totally agree with you.
Yeah, and I think back to, you know, growing up and watching 98 in 2002, you know, the very first one with the NHL players, and then 2002 where, you know, USA made that really deep run and lost to Canada in the gold medal. And, you know, even thinking back to 2010 and Crosby's golden goal. But before that, you know, USA upsetting Canada on their home ice. It's just, God, there's so much excitement with those games. And I'm so happy it's finally back, especially, Greg. I look at, you know, how well the 4 Nations face-off did last year.
Yeah.
With drawing in a lot of casual fans. Like, I know people that don't really follow hockey at all. They were texting me during those games and be like, dude, like, are you watching this? This is insane. This is awesome. It's going to have that energy. And this is honestly like the best collection of talent that I think the USA have had in a while. I think they're going to challenge Canada a bit. And so, yeah, I'm just looking forward to seeing how this all plays out.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. The NHL being in the Olympics is, I think, absolutely critical because you're not, like you said, you're not getting the best in the world if they aren't a part of it.
Yeah.
And also, I think it just makes watching the Olympics easier as NHL fans because you kind of know a lot of the guys, and it's a shakeup from what they're usually doing when playing and who they're playing with and what they're playing for. And I think all of that combined is just, it's something special, like you said, and happy that it's back.
Yeah. I mean, we missed it. And you know what? The women's game has been kick ass the past couple tournaments. Some really good down to the wire action. But, you know, for the men's side, it's just been missing something. And I hope hopefully they can finish building that stupid rink in time.
I was just about to ask if there was any update about that. I haven't seen anything.
I mean, they say it's on track. They're like, don't worry, it'll get done.
No, we got this. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we will certainly see. Greg, is there anything else just from a fan standpoint that you're looking forward to in this new year?
You know, I'm looking forward to the playoffs. Does that sound silly and obvious? I mean, it's I don't see the Lightning not making the playoffs. And I think they're going to make it, right? I don't have any doubt in my mind about that. But I really just want to see how they do in round one this season. I hope that it's not the same thing again. Because what I fear is if it is, then there will be large changes to the roster next season. And I just believe, I feel like a Leafs fan. Like I just believe in this roster, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't want to see that happen. I want them to get out of the first round. And I'm really nervous that it might be the Cats again.
Oh man, that would not be fun just to watch from
it would be exciting probably though.
If you're a casual fan, with no dog in the fight, I'm sure it'll be a kick-ass series. But if you're a Lightning fan where it's like, you know, sometimes the rivalry games just aren't fun to sit through.
Right.
Like, you know, if you're like playing your arch rival with a spot in the championship on the line, like it's more stressful than exciting.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what that first series would be like. It's just like, I hate this team. I want them to win so bad.
This would be me watching the Panthers.
Yeah. Well, you be sure to keep your head up and your eyes open, Greg, when playing the Florida Panthers.
Might catch a ball.
Seth Jones' elbow is going to fly your way. Yeah, I mean, I want the NHL to change that playoff format. So
me too.
It's the matchups are stale. It just robs, I think, some of the excitement, and I think it's putting weird. I don't know, it's just the format is weird. I think it's causing some teams to come up short. I would change that format.
Me too.
If I'm the NHL.
Yeah, I'm shocked it hasn't changed already, to be honest with you.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Greg. I want to hear one bold prediction from you for this new year. So giving you a second to think about it and tell me your answer when we come back. We're back on Locked on Lightning. Nick Morgan here alongside Greg Stephen. We're looking ahead to some of the big storylines for the Tampa Bay Lightning in 2026. Greg, it's time for some bold predictions. Give me a bold prediction you have for 2026 as it relates to the Tampa Bay Lightning.
I think they win the division. Maybe that's not that bold, but I think they do. And I have a second one for you just because I knew that one was kind of weak.
All right.
Darren Radish finishes top 3 in points on the Lightning.
Oh, I think he's 4th right now.
He is.
Okay. So tell me why you think Darren Radish is going to be like, give me some backstory here.
Okay. Hear me out. We've always known that he was offensive. I mean, that's what we started saying. Even when we thought he wasn't playing well at all, we were like, he's an offensive guy. And we were showing the stats to back that up.
Yeah.
And he still was producing a few points, honestly, at that time. It wasn't like he was bad at scoring or, setting up plays.
Sure.
But now he was kind of thrust into this larger role due to all these injuries. And maybe just like how much time they finally gave him, and he had this pressure lifted off of him where it's like, I'm not fighting for a spot. Like, who else are they putting here? I feel like it sounds silly, but it's like, if that's gone, you can just play hockey. And you have to think about, I'm fighting for a job, And I think that has done a lot for him. Let me be real with you, because look at who he's been since that happened. I mean, unbelievable, right? Like, I don't think anyone, whoever the NHL analyst is, I don't think anyone would have guessed that. And
we certainly didn't.
Right. And look, now he has 27 points in 30 games. I mean, that's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of defensemen don't do this. And look, we haven't seen it over the course of the entire season, right? But it's been several weeks now.
Oh yeah.
This hasn't been like a 2-week stint of like, let me put up a few points. It's like he's just popping off. And every game I'm like, yeah, he's not going to get a point this game. And then he puts up 3, like against the Blues. I was sitting there like, I think he's going to have a slower start here. Nope. I was sorely mistaken. So I think he finishes top 3 in points.
And we did talk about him, offense being his game. And this year, 8 goals, that's already a career high from him.
Yep.
10 away from his career high in points in what he said last year.
Yep.
And he's already tied with his career high for power play points in a season. And he's getting more ice time. So, okay.
Yeah. And we're not even halfway through the season technically.
Yeah.
So,
Greg, I'm gonna take your division title.
Okay.
I'm gonna go a little bolder here.
Oh, he's going conference?
I think the Tampa Bay Lightning are gonna win the Eastern Conference.
Wow.
Look,
okay.
We have seen glimpses of the Lightning at 100% this year before injuries, got in the way and everything like that. When everybody is 100%, when everybody's healthy and when everybody is sort of on their game and dialed in, who in the East can top them right now?
You know what? I don't know.
And that's the thing is I watch them and like, we had a couple just like 5-1 games when everybody was healthy. And it was just, the Lightning out shooting the other team, like, 40-20. The puck possession is there, that smothering offense is there. Just like, the team that just possesses the puck and doesn't let the other team have any sort of handle on the puck. It's just like that frustrating style of hockey that made the Tampa Bay Lightning such a hard team to play against for all those years, right at the start of 2020. It was their bread and butter that got them to 2 Stanley Cups and another Eastern Conference championship. I look and I'm seeing elements of that team back. And, I think that some of the concerns that we've had the past couple of years are being addressed. I think some of the physicality that was missing from the roster the past couple of years, you're seeing that in guys like Dominic James coming in and playing a big role, Dastu coming in and providing a lot of energy from the blue line. You're seeing, I think, Brandon Hagel improve more and more and more and more with each year and kind of becoming more willing to throw his body in there wherever. Yanni Gourde coming back solved a lot of, I think, gave the Lightning some of their old identity back a little bit. Yeah. You're seeing elements that were missing, I think, from the past couple of teams coming back into the Lightning this year. And I think, you've seen things like also Darren Point getting hot in the past little bit. And, Jake Gensel getting hot, Nikita Kucherov finding his own form. It just feels like when everything is clicking, it doesn't seem like there's a lot in the East that can go toe to toe with the Lightning right now. The big question mark is going to be the Florida Panthers and how they look when Barkov and Tkachuk come back. But as it stands right now, when the Lightning are healthy, I don't see a lot of teams that can go toe to toe with them in a 7-game series. I can probably count them on one hand in the Eastern Conference, how many that I would maybe say, I think they have a chance.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. What I find fascinating about the East right now is that no one is out. There's no team with 20 points or 22 points or whatever. The bottom team right now, Toronto Maple Leafs, 35 points. But you're right. Looking at the East, who can do it? And I probably would have said maybe the Hurricanes until I watched the game the other day.
The Hurricanes did kind of outplay us for a good period there, but
still,
at Christmas, Greg,
mm-hmm.
No team in Eastern Conference was below 500.
Right, which is insane.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that tells you how top to bottom tough it is, but it's also like, do we think Detroit or Montreal are going to beat this version of the Lightnings right now? Like, do we think New Jersey, when they're healthy, can do it? I mean, I guess you could say the only team you'd be worried about is the New York Islanders because Ilya
They're your kryptonite.
beat us 3 times.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
the
yeah.
Islanders game kind of counters the way the Lightning play, and that's actually a matchup I would dread if I were going into the playoffs. Anyway, I don't know. Yeah, I think you're right. It's like I was gonna say the Rangers maybe if they figure it out a little more, but still, I don't know because Shesterkin is such a good goaltender. I mean, goaltending wins a lot of playoffs, and it's not like their team is bad by any means. Maybe the Senators. But you're right. I think the Lightning. I think it's possible. I'm not saying it's not.
Well, they're going to get bounced in the first round now that we've talked about it for this much gusto. But yeah, but we'll see. I mean, I still think I'd put the Lightning number 1 right now. Again, I mean, we'll look down south and see how well Florida does when
right.
Those
we
guys
got to see
back.
when they come back. I mean, Tkachuk makes a big impact, so I'd assume they will make the playoffs. That's not a doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
Fun fact, though, at Christmas, Lightning best goal differential in the East. So it's honestly a really good sign.
They're certainly a team that can score. I will say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're not in goals against. They're 3rd best in the entire league.
Yeah.
So
Well, look, everybody, if you guys have bold predictions, we would love to hear them. Drop them in our YouTube chat. You can also reach out to us on TikTok, Instagram, pretty much anywhere you scroll. Just search Locked On Lightning and you'll find us. Also, be sure to hit that subscribe button, whether you're watching us on YouTube or listening on your favorite podcast platform. Helps us out with our numbers and lets you guys know when we have fresh content out for you. That's going to do it for us on the first new show of 2026. Thank you for making us your first listen of the day. We will be back Monday with new episodes, including the return to our regular game recaps. So we'll see you then.